Hello, I'll say hi to whoever is here now as we're waiting for more people.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Talia. Hi, Juan.
Hello.
Is it right?
Yeah,
Hi. And Romina? Romina, hi. And Shani, hi. Hi, everybody.
hello.
I will let people in since there is a waiting room. And I see already some questions in the chat. I don't read Spanish, but I get from that it's about the time that the
Yes.
time the class starts, right? I got the answer. I didn't get the question. So we are going to start at 4:45. I started the Zoom a little bit earlier so people can join and we can start on time. But our official time is 4:45. So if you have friends asking, this is the time to tell them. Okay. Okay, and I see Noise here. Dora, Berta, welcome. Jessica, if I missed anybody, I will get I will get the names. And here are more people coming.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Berta. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Juan. Miss you guys.
Oh, good. So you guys know each other from other classes?
We know it from last summer. We were together in Jerusalem.
When you are actually here,
Yes.
right? Last summer. Yeah, I heard
Yes.
that you were here. That's nice.
Hi, Anat. I think it's the first time we see one another.
Yeah,
Well, for me, it's the first time.
Really? Well, you didn't take classes together during the first semester?
No.
Oh, great. So it's a nice reunion over here. Okay. I always like to start on time and to end on time. And but just because it's our first day, I will take one more minute and then we'll say hello to everybody. Do you have waiting rooms in other classes? Because I think sometimes somehow it's you do. Okay, because we didn't used to have it and then people just joined. And now I feel I'm responsible opening the door for everybody and not missing anybody. So, okay, I have 11 people here and we're supposed to be about twice as much. Okay. So, here, one more minute passed and we can, how about we'll start, we'll say our hellos, we'll get to know each other and you will forgive me if I'm with half an eye on the waiting room as we start. So hello and welcome to this class, Innovative Thinking in Education. And mainly what we are going to do today and during this class is to try to understand what this means, innovative in education, innovative thinking in education. And I would like to start by sharing with you the screen. Just that when I share the screen, I don't necessarily see the people who want to join. So that's kind of a little challenging here, but okay, you know what? Hold on one second. Let's see if I have anybody. Okay, So we're kind of gonna do both as we go and hope for the best. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. So Innovate Thinking in Education, we're gonna meet here for 4 weeks. And I would greatly appreciate your open cameras as we can have a free discussion here. And if you are wondering about the sticker that I'm wearing, and if you wonder about the balloon that it's in the screen, these days I cannot start any conversation or class or a session without remembering that we still have people hostages in Gaza. And some of them are from Hebrew University, some of them are students, family. And I feel privileged to be with you today and speak about education, because I think after October 7th, we all feel that it's on us to make the world a better place, and it's not a cliche anymore. And I feel that every day that I talk about education. So thank you for joining me here. And let me go through today a little bit. We're gonna go and do a little bit of a round of introduction. And today's topic is what is innovation, what is innovative pedagogy, and how do we measure it, and why do we need to measure it? And then at the last part of the class, I will give you an overview of the class and the assignment and how we're gonna go about during these 4 weeks. So let's say hello, and we are a pretty large class, which is a good thing. So I thought about doing it in 2 ways. We're gonna say hello, but also just so we are not spending the whole class getting to know each other, I would like you to, let's use the chat. I would like you to write a few words about yourself in the chat, everything that you feel like sharing today. I'm very interested about your professional background, your personal background. And then when we go around, we're gonna get to read what you wrote and also hear your voice saying your name, where you're from, and one thing that you're curious about the topic of innovative thinking education. Okay, so right now let's take a minute with the chat. Write down everything that you would like us to know in a few sentences. Hi, Limor, I see that you just joined us. Welcome. We're taking a minute to write in the chat a few things about ourselves that we can get to know each other. Okay, so you can continue, right? But we are going to start, and I'm just going to go down the list so we can follow as we put together words and faces. And I'm going to start. I'll introduce myself. My name is Vered Resnick, and I'll go along the lines that I read here. I was born and raised in Israel, in Jerusalem, as I live here now with my family. I spent about 10 years in the States in a Jewish school, and then in a public high school. And then I came back to Israel about 15 years ago and start my journey back in Hebrew University. And I just submitted my PhD in education, where I researched the topic of teacher professional development in innovative environments. So you see how I tie here my passion about innovation, education, and the next generation of educators. And I'll probably going to tell you a little bit more about myself as we go. And now I will turn to Dora. Dora, I see you're the first one.
Hi.
So read what you wrote, and please tell us, Dora, where are you from, and one thing that you're curious about.
I'm from Mexico. I work
Mexico.
at the Jewish National Fund, Keren Kakal. And the biggest question I have, and I wrote it on the forum, is how to prepare students for an uncertain future. That's, I think, innovation is a part of it, and that's it.
Okay,
Nice to
okay,
meet you.
thank you, Dora. It's you know, sometimes it's easy to forget that we're here for the students, right? When we learn, when we study, it's like all about us and how we learn and obviously the goal is always the students. So thank you for reminding us that. Ben, I see you are here next. You're on my list here next, currently in Cleveland.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Ben, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm currently in Cleveland. I grew up in Wisconsin, lived in Yerushalayim for 6 years while I was in yeshiva. And I'm curious about a lot of things. I'm just looking forward to learning. I'm really happy to be in this program.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Where in Jerusalem did you live when you were here?
So I lived some of the time in Talpiot, some of the time in Beit HaKerem.
Oh, nice, very nice. Okay, Ahuva, you're next.
Hi, I'm
Born and raised
Ahuva.
in Long Island, New York. Yes.
Yeah, so
There you
I was
go.
born and raised there, and I actually met my husband on a Jewish National Fund trip to Israel. So, Dora, we have that connection there. And we just got married like right before the war and moved to Hadera, Israel.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So you moved to Israel. Oh,
Yeah.
your husband. Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
I also brought my husband here when we met there. So I understand that. Okay. Talia, you're relocated in Maryland, yeah?
Yes. Hi everyone.
Hi,
So my
hi,
name is Talia.
Talia.
I've been living here in Maryland for the last 3.5 years. I relocated here from Israel with my family. I have 3 daughters and relocated after my husband's work. I'm a school teacher for elementary kids. I teach mainly Hebrew, not only, but mainly Hebrew. And here in Maryland, I teach Hebrew as well. I just want to say a quick thank you for you for giving a few moments to talk about the hostages. It's something that's very close to my heart. I have a family connection there, and thank you for saying that. It's important. And I'm sure it is for everybody else that's here. Thank you for that. And I'm very curious to hear about innovation in education. I think it's an engine for progress. It's a way for us to make education relevant. And I'm very curious to hear what we're going to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia. Where do you teach in Maryland?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Which school do you teach in Maryland?
Oh, no, at the moment I teach privately from home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's see who also is here. Anat, you are from Jerusalem.
Yes. Originally from Jerusalem. We moved here also for my husband's work, and I live in Boca. I teach at Donna Klein. It's a school from K to 12th grade. So we have it's quite a big school here. And what I'm interested is how I teach Judaic, so I would like to use it as much as I can in my classes. I teach 4th and 5th grade, so I'm interested to use it.
Nice. That's nice. So you're kind of, I hear between the lines that you're asking, okay, Judaic, right? It's like it's a traditional maybe a topic, and now we're talking innovation and how these things are coming together. This is I don't know
Yeah.
if I put words in your mouth, but,
No,
but this is
we teach Chumash during the week, but every
Right.
time there's a holiday, it's like a day school I teach in.
right, right. Okay, good.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. And Romina, do I say it correctly? It's
Yeah, yeah.
asked you
I'm
already,
from-
but
Thank
here
you.
you are.
I'm
Yes. Yes, from
Romina from-
Argentina. How nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
from Argentina. I teach at an elementary school. I'm the head of the English department too. And I'm curious about everything because even though I heard the word innovation, I would like to apply the concepts now into practice. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, one of the first things we're gonna say right after the introduction is like that we're gonna say that the innovation is a buzzword, right? We all use it. We all know what it is. It's not that big of a deal, but we are gonna try to put some meaning that will help us do something with it and not just say it, right? So I hear you. Okay, Noah from Vancouver Island in Canada. Yes,
Hello.
here you are. Yes.
Yes. Hi. I'm Noah. I'm a mother of 3 boys. I've been living in this area for the past 12 years. I lived in Jerusalem for 6 years. And when I did my undergrad, I was born in Haifa, born and raised. I think we need to improve ourselves in our profession. That's why I'm doing this degree, to give more body to what I'm doing. And this is another path to do this course, another tool.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, sorry. I lost. I didn't hear you for a second. So if,
It's okay.
okay, sorry. Okay, thank you. Ayelet from Boston, but when you're not, okay.
Hi,
Where are you? Here you
name is-
are.
I was born and raised in Israel in kibbutz, and then I moved to Tel Aviv. In the middle, I was in Jerusalem doing my undergrad and moved here, I think 7 years ago, because of my husband innovation process
Mhm.
business. And now I'm here for now. I'm interested in the innovation part because it's will make us our life. We need to improve, as Noah said. We need to do it better.
Mhm. We need to do it better. Good. Thank you. Thank you. And Jessica.
Hi, yeah, I'm from
Hi,
Argentina
Jessica.
too.
Oh,
Hi,
hi.
like Romina, yes. So I'm an English teacher
From
in
Argentina.
in secondary school. My school is a Jewish school, but it's like inclusive. So we have students from different religions, different backgrounds, but we teach. They teach, not me. They teach Hebrew, Jewish education we have. So I'm curious about how to implement this innovation into different students.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And we have Juan.
Hi, I'm from Spain. I'm a professor at the university.
Mhm.
I PhD in psychology, and my idea is to improve my work every day.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Shani.
Hi, Boker Tov. I'm
Boker
Shani,
tov.
and I live in San Diego, California. It's a very early morning right now.
How early? Let's feel your pain. How early?
It's 7 a.m., but you know, my girls are already pushing me to say to be with them. But I'm so happy to be here. I'm a professional singer. I'm a cantorial soloist as well. So
Wow.
I perform a lot in the US, especially these days for Israeli organizations, to bring the hostages back. So I live it every moment. And I teach at elementary school at San Diego Jewish Academy. I'm the music director. Born and raised, of course, in Israel, in Kadima, near Netanya, if you know.
Mhm.
did my musical studies through Rimon School of Music, and also my BA in the Open University in Ra'anana. And innovation for me is just creative mind. I always think out of the box. I think because of the reason that I've learned and I've studied music very like, general kind of way. So I love to expand, and have my students think, out of the box when we do music, especially in a Jewish school. So thank you for allowing us this course. Thank you.
Well, sounds interesting. Thank you. Larissa.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How
I'm
are you?
Larissa Cigal. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil,
Wow.
and I work in Beit Menachem School. The truth that I'm a lawyer, but 9 years ago, when my son had to go to school, I decided to get involved in education because I did tshuva, and I was not religious. And for me, the religion was really another word, a good word with joy and happiness. And when I went to this school, the religious school that we have in Rio de Janeiro, it didn't reflect what it was a religion for me, like this joy, the happiness, this pride. So I decided to go into and start to study, and that's why I'm here. And I do many things in school, and I'm really excited with this class to give me tools to innovate a little bit more there.
Okay. Larissa, okay. I want to say something about the word tools. Every time I hear the word tools, I kind of get a little uncomfortable. And now you're a lawyer, so I don't want us to get into trouble.
You can say no problem.
No,
Please.
but I'm kidding, of course, because I think that what I would want to give you is a way to look at it, because I trust you to develop the tools. And I think that when we look at tools, we're missing something. But I'm saying things that we're gonna say it throughout the class. I'm just kind of putting it out there. The word tools versus a worldview on things. So it will be interesting to hear your take on it. Thank you. And Berta from Brazil.
Okay,
Hi.
yeah, I'm from Brazil. Hi. I went to Israel for the very first time last summer.
Wow.
I'm married. I have twin girls. They're 9. I'm an English teacher at a Jewish day school in Porto Alegre. That's the very south of Brazil. And I'm really interested in how innovation can help students with disabilities, maybe autism and, that kind of disability. We have lots of students that need help with that. So I'm hoping to get some more of innovation and how I can apply for these students too.
Okay, interesting. I will actually be interested to know if what we talk about gives you something a new way to think about it. So
Okay.
let us know. Thank you.
Okay.
And last on my list is Limor. Hi, Limor. Here you are. Yes. Welcome.
Hi, good morning from Los Angeles. It is early, especially that yesterday we had I took the course with Mervis last night. So it's it's hard. Sorry, I was late. My computer died. I don't know how, but that's happened. I think in United States more than I was in Israel. I came after the army back and forth, and then in '96 I did my undergraduate in Philadelphia at Gratz College, Jewish studies and certificate in Jewish education, and then I took a very long break. And then in 2016 I did my master's in teaching Hebrew as a second language with Verdit in Middlebury. in Vermont. And then now I like studying. I like to show my twin boys who are 19 that, learning, studying, and, improve and innovate and all that is very, very important. So that's why in my age, I'm doing another thing, another school, another studying. Yeah, I actually, one of the reasons that I did that beside, that I like studying is the idea of the innovation, but also like what we started doing yesterday, which I think your course gonna add a lot to it, is basically to see how we can really create something, another thing that maybe is here, but then we can, apply something better and make it better, or just start something on my own. But also the idea of fundraising and like how to do it and everything that relates to education. I teach now at a middle school. I taught 13 years at high school, a Jewish high school, and then it's all related and it's all good. And we need these skills in life, I think.
Okay, thank you. Sounds like a very rich experience that you are bringing to the table. So this is thank you all for sharing. And I'm looking, and I don't see anybody else in the waiting room, but we still don't have everybody. So I hope I'm not missing anybody. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna go back to share the screen. Okay. To start our discussion, I want to show you really just a couple of minutes of a clip. And as we watch it, I would like you to think about these questions: new or old? Is this thing that we are going to watch, is it new or is it old? How would you define it if these are the only two options that you have? Okay, of course, we always want to say, well, somewhere in the middle, depends, right? Every time we say depends is when we don't want to make a choice. So I'm saying make a choice, new or old. If you say that it's new, what's new about it? If you say that it's old, what's old about it? And the thing that is new, what did it change? Do you understand the question? If you decide that this thing is new, I want you to reflect on what is that it changed, and what remained the same if you decide that it's not new. Okay, these are kind of general questions. They're going to get clearer as we see the clip. So let me share that, and I learned to optimize everything. And here we go. Can you see it?
NBC presents Mary Martin as Peter Pan, Cyril Ritchard as Captain Hook, originally staged, choreographed, and adapted by Jerome Robbins, based on the play by James M. Barrie. Entire production directed by Vincent J. Donahue, with Margalo Gilmore and Sandra Lee as Tiger Lily. Lyrics by Carolyn Lee, music by Lou Charlotte. Additional music by Julie Stein. Additional lyrics by Betty Comden and Adolph Green. Narrated by Lynn Fontanne.
Some say that as we grow up, we become different people at different ages. But I don't believe this. I think we remain the same throughout, merely passing in these years from one room to another, but always in the same house. If we unlock the rooms of the far past, we can look in and see ourselves beginning to become you and me.
One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Okay, you got the idea, right? Okay, so let's hear. What did we see? Is it something new? Is it something old? Why? Oh, I see you raising your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
would say it's something new just because it's a newer take on the story of Peter Pan. Even though the film is physically old, it was a new concept and a
Okay.
new perspective.
Okay, thank you. More? Is it new or is it old? Limol?
I actually thought that it's old because all the way that he's describing what it says, actually, they don't do it anymore now. And it's actually very helpful for people who are maybe blind and they can still hear, but they don't see. So then at least he's saying, you know, who did it, who's the actors and everything. And it says act one and all that. So I don't know, for me, it was like old in that sense that back then that's what they did. And it's actually, when I think about nowadays, we need all different kinds of like way to do it for students to listen, to understand, because everybody study differently.
So you're saying that it's old. You're saying that it's old because of the part that we don't really have today, but we used to have. Fair. Okay. Okay. More? Ben? I see you raising your hand, and then Ayelet. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I was long ago, and everything they're doing, as far as the cinematography and everything, is really cutting edge for the time, you know.
So you said, I think we missed the first thing you said. It's new or old?
I would say relatively it's new, because in the grand scheme of human history, it's not that long ago, and that was all new technology, new ways of doing things. Just as far as the creativity, the cinematography, what they were doing there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And Ayelet, let's take a last remark.
I think it's new for me.
New
Because
for
the
you.
way- Yes,
Okay.
because for start, I haven't seen the movie. Second, the way that they are narrate the people that are taking part of the movie is extremely smart, and I loved it. And it was new for me because I always think that it's the people that are doing something are not getting the credit, enough credit. And this way, everyone can get the credit, even if you cannot hear it or you're doing coffee while it's going up, and then you can hear it. It's amazing.
Okay.
So it's new for me. I don't think it's new, but it's new.
Okay. Okay. So you're kind of I'll try to put this thing the things that you say together. You see that first of all, it's a simple clip and we don't have an agreement here, right? So this is just to tell us that this whole concept about new, innovative, it's as if we use it all the time, but it's a little tricky, right? It's something to look at and to really understand or think about what would we consider new or old. And for this, I want to add to what you say is that basically what we see is the same play on stage. I did not see anything change, right? It's theater, but it's filmed into a movie, right? And I want to ask you, when we see movies today, do they look like this? No, right? It's a whole different genre. It's a whole different industry. So what we see here actually is the same thing. It's not even a movie. It's a film theater. Do you agree? Of course, it's so that's one thing that when we look at something, we want to really look into what's new and what's not, and what did it bring? What did the change bring? And obviously, at this incident, I think of what it brought is that it made theater available, more accessible for more people, right? but still from that to the film industry that we know today, there are still a lot of steps. And another thing I want to take from your comments is the word relative, right? That when we look at something new or innovative, it's always in relation to something. Okay, maybe it sounds obvious, but I want to put it out there. Okay, so let's continue and go back to here. And here are some questions that I wanna put for us as we speak. I'm sorry, just 1 second, because I don't see you. Hold on, I'm sorry. It's hard for me without seeing you at all. So, okay. So I want to put this sentence here, is all that glitters gold, okay? I'm saying that obviously by putting the questions, I want us to think about it, is everything that we say that is new is innovative, okay? Sometimes we use this word, sometimes we're going to use the word new, sometimes we're going to use the word innovative, but it's not the same. And there are many ways to think about it or to make definitions, but here's what I want us for our common language to put out here. We're going to say that something is new when we want to talk about in chronological terms, that it's relative to something older, just in the timeline, okay? That something happened in the past or something would happen in the future is just in the timeline, just saying where we're locating it in the time. But when we talk about something innovative, we're actually talking about the essential of it, okay? It doesn't matter if it's already 50 years old, okay? But we are talking about, in essential terms, it's relative to the traditional perception that precede the more innovative one, okay? So we're just gonna make this definitions, and I hope it will be clear as we move on. So a few more words about this term, and I would like you to think about it. Innovation, is it a means or is it an end? Is it the goal or is it just a step on a way to a bigger goal? And I want to put two things here. First, from your answers here as well, we see that it's a buzzword, right? Nobody's going to tell you, no, my goal is to do things the old way, right? We all want to be, to improve our ways, to do things better. But I would say that we want to look into what we really want to fix. And we don't want to fix something if it ain't broken, just because someone said, oh, we should do something innovative, right? If it works, great. On the other hand, I put here something that a teacher told me once, and I keep using this because I think it really nails it. He said, we keep striking the rock in the same place and wonder why no water is coming out. So I hope you see the different dynamic of these two phrases. On one hand, you know what, we don't need to do something new just for the sake of doing something new. But if it is broken, if something is not working, but we keep doing the same thing, we're probably going to get into this position that no water is going to come out. So what are we going to do during our classes, this class in general? We're going to put on a critical glasses to evaluate and measure innovation. And we're going to analyze a few pedagogies as case studies just to examine the model that we introduce here. And at the end, we're going to think like innovators in our own context. So this is the general plan, and I'm going to stop here just for a second because somehow I can't see you, so it's really hard for me. I feel like I'm speaking to myself. So I'm going to just stop here for a second to see if anybody has questions or remarks so far, because I didn't see you during the presentation. Okay, so you're with me. So let's try it again. Okay. Okay, good. So in the forum, and I saw that some of you already that you saw it, there are, I'm sorry, things here are jumping. Okay. I saw some of your answers. I ask you why would you say that innovation is just kind of like intuitive, and this is some of your responses that I kind of put them together. A lot of you talked about that innovation is a responding to a needs, that it's something creative, that developing and in implementing a new idea, a new or upgraded idea. It could be a method, it could be a product. These are some of your answers. And when I ask, what do you think is the motivation of educators for implementing innovations in school, then some of you talked about the professional development, about challenging the need to improve themselves in order to improve the students' learning, and the desire to move the cheese, and so forth. I want to share with you a study that is done, and I put it also in the Moodle, that in this study, 26 innovation experts were asked, what is innovation? And they were asked to give their answer. And here are some of the answers. And why would this study was conducted? Because they said innovation is a truly confusing buzzword, as we said, which many people love to hate. So they ask, what is innovation for you? And here are some of the answers. Turning an idea into a solution that adds value from a customer's perspective. I should say that this was kind of in the business world, not in the education world, but so we'll see about the customer perspective, but it's kind of similar to a lot of things that you said, turning an idea into a solution that adds value. And here's another response: staying relevant. Simply as that. And innovation is creativity, is thinking of something new, and innovation is the implementation of something new. Okay, so you see a little replay here. And innovation is the future delivered. I really like this one. The innovation is the future delivered. And there are 26 more answers like this. You can look, but what they did in this little research, they took all the answers and they kind of map it. Okay, so to kind of getting the gist of each definition, you see this is what people say, that innovation is about having an idea, it's about executing an idea, addressing a real challenge, add value to the customer, add value to the company, moving forward. Okay, so they took all these different definitions and they put the ultimate definition of innovation: executing an idea which addresses a specific challenge and achieves value for both the company and the customer. Okay, so this is kind of all these definitions putting together. We can adopt this definition or not. This is really up to you, but we're putting it out there. What I would like you all always to remember, that one important characteristic of innovation is its relativity. We cannot talk about something new or innovative if we're not talking about what it's related in relevant, not relevant, related to, and that it's always compared to a tradition way of doing things, an existing reality that it's about to change and potentially improve. And therefore, when we talk about education, okay, when we talk about innovation in education, the first thing we want to ask, so what is the traditional schooling? Because if we said that innovation is always in relation to whatever came before, then we first need to put the ground of what came before. And with education, it's a little tricky because unfortunately, the traditional schooling, I think, is still the most common schooling. You can tell us a little bit how it is in your country, in your area, but I think overall we can say that the traditional schooling is still the norm. And what does it mean? It can mean a lot of things, but just to simplify it, and again, for our common language and common concepts, I would say we'll put down 3 characteristics. The first one, information-focused agenda. I'll stop here again just to see you. When I say information-focused agenda, what would you say? What does it mean?
Content,
What-
syllabus,
What's that?
content,
Content.
the syllabus. Well, yes, what we have to teach. They have to know about the planets. They have to know about, I don't know, geography, math.
Exactly.
Content.
Exactly. That's the goal of the class, the goal of school, the goal of the lesson is the teacher delivering the content, right? So you understand why I say that we say that it's traditional school, but it's still, we are all there, let's face it, right? We're all there, whether it's the system, whether it's the Ministry of Education, okay? Like here in Israel, the Ministry of Education, there is a curriculum here, 4th grade, this is the curriculum, this is what you need to do, okay? So as much as we want to do something different, the content, okay, the information focused agenda is still very, very present. And then the second thing, and I won't put it yet because I still want to see you. The second thing that it's in this slide says teacher-centered practices. Okay, so alongside the agenda, the content agenda, there is teacher-focused practices. What do you understand from that? Dora, go ahead.
That the teacher is the intellectual authority. So the students need to learn from him, and that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. And you see how it goes really, really together with the content agenda, right? So because if there is a body of knowledge that I need to deliver, then I'll do what I'm doing right now. I lecture you. Okay, and this class is a great example for it because yes, there is a body of knowledge that I would like to deliver, okay, which is the model that we are going to work with throughout this class. So this is what I do. I put the content on some slides and I deliver it to you. So this class is definitely teacher focused, right? With my
And also
the crowd, but this is what it is. So you see how common it is. Bertha, go ahead.
I'm sorry. The sound stopped, so I thought you stopped. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. Okay, as long as we're good.
I was just gonna say that is also related to the choice. You make all the decisions.
Yes,
Students, like
yes.
the teacher makes all the decisions.
Absolutely.
Students don't get to choose anything.
Absolutely. I call the shot, right? It's my stage, right? Whatever I do goes and you need to do it. That's exactly it. Okay, and the last thing that I will put here is what we call person solo epistemology, which is maybe less common, but let's just talk about the person solo. Did any of you heard this term, person solo? Okay, person solo is to say that you as a learner, what you have is just you. Person solo, okay? It's easier to explain it in what is not person solo is person plus. Okay, person plus is, for example, Larissa is not just her. She has in class, she has Noah on her right and Talia on her left, at least on my screen. Okay, so and if I as a teacher conduct the class and created that Noah and Talia are not just there, but they are Larissa's resources for knowledge, or they're part of her learning process, then Larissa is not person solo anymore. Now she's plus. Okay? Any other pluses that we can provide the students with?
The family, that's also a plus, like the context of the students.
Well,
Even they are not in the room.
if they're part of the learning process, okay, if somehow you conduct it as part of the learning process, they might be more pluses that we can
Technology.
Technology, right? Technology. We always think about technology, right? And we're going to talk about technology because obviously when we talk about innovation, the first thing that comes to mind is technology, right? But we should look at it as well. So technology can
Maybe
definitely...
older kids also.
Older kids, good. Okay. Other resources?
I think community.
Community, like the community of the class, of the school, or in general?
The school, or if you belong to like a synagogue, or if it's something, you know.
Okay.
Even now when we do something for the hostages, you know, so we like all feeding each other, but helping each other. So I think that's also a plus, because it's a plus that you have someone else.
Absolutely.
It's the two meanings. It's a plus that you have it. It's like a positive thing, but it's also a plus. You have another person with you. You're not by yourself.
Right.
So.
It's like it's the double meaning of the word, and I will challenge it even more that many times the process because you know we're kind of we want the benefits for our students, and so the process many times will be person plus, right? We'll put the students together, they'll do some group work, maybe we'll take them to the community and do some visits, etc. But what happens during the test? Or I would say, how do we evaluate them?
Individually?
Usually, right, at the end of our collaboration process, this and that, somehow we'll go back to person plus. Just to tell you how this and now I'll go back so you see it, and now it will. No, this is not how I go.
I was also gonna add social media to it.
I'm sorry, who is Ahuva? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna add like social media.
Yes.
Because like nowadays that has such a big effect on students, especially younger students.
Totally. So when we talk technology, we should really understand what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the traditional schooling, and now you understand why I say that that we call this the traditional schooling, but it's very much present still in the schooling that we're all doing. Okay. Okay. So we saw a definition about what innovation is, and I wanna narrow it to innovative pedagogy. And Hargreaves gave an explicit emphasis on the teaching process, and when he talked about innovative pedagogy, and that's why I like his definition. There are many other definitions, but I like to think about it as the process and not just at the end product. And he put a very simple definition. Innovation or knowledge creation means that practitioners learn to do things differently in order to do them better. Okay, think about it for a second. To do things differently in order to do them better. And I like it because it puts both it reminds us why we should do it. We should not just do it because we need to do something different, but it reminds us to always think, do we really do it better? If I teach with technology, did I really do it better? Did I really do it differently, or did I just put the book that in the past was on their desk, but now I put it on the screen? What did I change? Did I just put the theater? Did I just film the theater? Okay, and you understand what I mean? Or did I really create something different? So these are the things that we want to put in mind. And I'm just gonna look at the clock because I really would like to, yes, we're good. I would really like to introduce you the model that we are gonna work with during this class. and it's not new. Okay, look I mean, it's already from 2006 is the last one, but remember I told you my view on it, that if something works, we don't need to change it just because we need something new. To be honest, I looked for many other models, and this one is just it works, and it's a simple and deep at the same time, and it just gives us a ground to start talking. This model is part of a large study that was done by CITES. You have the links here also in the presentation, okay? And this CITES kind of did a research throughout in many countries, and one of them was the Israeli report, okay? And what they want to check, that the research was specifically about the use of technology in class. Okay, so the Israeli report, they took 10 cases, they examined 10 schools and how they implemented technology. And I'm taking it, here it's from 2003, I'm taking it to talk not just about technology, because I think that innovation is so much more than technology. Okay, but they gave us a good theoretical framework to look at what's going on, okay, even beyond technology. So let me take you through this framework, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. And I will say that this is probably the most I will talk together kind of in one chunk during class, but this model is very important because actually we're going to use this model throughout the class. Every case study that we're going to examine together, we're going to examine through these glasses. Okay, so let's put the ground. Okay, so they checked 10 schools. And they want to say, when we talk about innovation, when we say that something innovative is happening in this school, what do we say? When are we going to say that educational innovation actually occurred in this school? They needed some criteria, okay? Just because the school is nice and it feels like kids are doing something else, it's not enough. We need to, when we say educational innovation, what do we mean? And this is what they put down. They said that educational innovation occurs when there is a change in one or more of these domains. First, organizational issues. Second, students' role. Third, teachers' role. And fourth is the curriculum. And let's go over each one. And before that, I will say one more word. After analyzing the 4 domains, then they can also determine the level of innovation. And there are 3 levels of innovations that we're gonna, 3 levels of innovation: assimilation, transition, transformation. You can think about the words a little bit and kind of understand which one goes first and what does it mean. But we're gonna put more words into the levels, but just so you understand the process. So they created a schema, okay? And they said for each school, this is what we want to look at, okay? We want to look at the domains on the left side. We're going to look about the digital space, about the time, the student's role, the teacher's role, the curriculum content, because remember we talked about content. And we are going to determine the level of the innovation, okay? And this is what we did. They looked at this and they concluded that, okay? Each house here represent the school, where the school is at in this domain, okay? So this is each school in the research, and throughout our class, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna place each case that I bring, that you bring. We're going to look at it and we're going to try to locate it in this model. Okay? Stop me if you have a question. Okay. So let's start to understand the 4 domains. The first one we said is the space. Where does learning take place? It sounds maybe like a simple question. Where does learning take place? Learning takes place at school, right? But not necessarily, or necessarily also puts a question mark. Okay, so let's look at the right side first. Physical space, the actual classroom walls, what are they? Are they traditional classes the classrooms that we all know, and probably 99% of our time we teach in these classroom walls, right? Does anybody here doesn't teach in a classroom?
Me. I always teach
do.
outside.
Outside, what do you mean
Because
outside?
it's non-formal education, so all over the school, but
Okay. So
mainly
here,
not in the
look
class.
at Dora. Dora said, first of all, she said, of course, I don't teach in a classroom, but then she told us why, because she's in the non-formal education, right? Okay, so I'm not. This is great, but just for our discussion, I want to stay for a second in the formal education, K through 12. Does anybody not teach in a classroom? Shani.
I teach in a classroom. It's just in COVID times, obviously, we had to change many of the way that we teach. So I did hybrid classes, for example, physical in classroom, but also some of the students on Zoom. We had many students that thought to join the school in COVID times. So they started on Zoom and then they came to school physically. And some of the time in COVID times, we had to do outdoors music classroom. So it was like rethinking how to do it with pianos. So for example, we decided to use iPads and download the app for piano instead of doing, pianos that we need to clean all the time. So it was kind of like a new thinking of how to do it in our traditional.
And now that we're not in COVID time, did you return to the traditional classroom or did you guys stay outside? I'm really curious.
We returned, but it changed my mind to some of the things. So I had to develop like a unit in my curriculum for the sound of music, like to go outside and kind of like implement what we had, with our experiment outside. So it was nice, like to add something.
So it's an interesting example that you give because obviously during COVID time in here, during COVID time, the first thing it challenged was the space, right? After a million of years that we teach in a classroom in walls, that this is how classroom is, all of a sudden something happens and say, no, you don't have the space. And we moved to online classes, and we saw that schooling can happen in a different space. Now, we can talk about it's a whole different discussion. What actually happened in the Zoom, right? Sometimes it was again the film theater, right? We did the same thing just in a different space, and we didn't understand why the students do not even open their cameras, right? But we cannot do the same thing in a different space. And more interestingly is that when we came back to school, most schools, most teachers went back to the 4 walls, right? Even if you as a teacher wanted to do something different, the system, right? We're part of a system. It's not like we can do whatever we want. We went back to what? To the traditional schooling. And that's why when we want to talk about innovation, we want to look at the space. Where does learning take place? And this is what we would like to consider. What does the change of space provide, if there is a change of space? What can we do now that we couldn't do before? Okay, so this goes also on the other thing. If don't fix it if it ain't broken. Okay, if I took the class, why do I take the class outside? Why do I take them to the forest? Why do I take them on a field trip? Okay, what can we do there that we cannot do in the classroom? And what are the new learning opportunities in the new space? What can we actually do there, and how are they designed? Okay, so again, when you want to design a virtual space, Zoom lesson, discussion groups, whatever you do, you need to think about the design, that it's not just, okay, before I was in the classroom, now I'm in Zoom. So we are going to look at this space.
Can I add something?
Yes, obviously.
I think, growing up in Israel, at least where I grew up in Kiryat Tivon, we basically, everything was almost outside as much as possible. And here in the United States, back in the day when I started and I, was working as a nanny, I took the girls out all the time. Like we did a lot of activities outside of the home, and they didn't understand, like, where am I coming from? Like, why am I doing it? They were very happy, but they didn't understand the thought that, this is what I do, and this is so helpful to the girls. And now at school, I think I always take them outside, even to play a little game or even to do something, but outside, so they're not going to be in the four walls, because it's really healthy for them, especially now that they're constantly, on their phones or, in the media and all that. They need that even when they come to school, not to really just to be. So I try to take them out. And of course, if we have the space, because we do, because it's an out, we have like
And
a really.
I will add to that, Limor, that I think you're making a good point here, that it's a cultural thing. I agree. Okay, the cultures that spend more or less time outside. But I would also would like us to distinguish between, do we go outside for a break, or even a brain break? Okay, do we do like a nice game just to get the energy, the motivation, the nice atmosphere, which is the most important thing, okay? Between this and actual learning, that the learning itself takes place somewhere else. Okay, just so not to say what's more important, but just to keep it in mind. Let's move on just a little bit more to get the more of the model before the next thing. Okay, why can't you move? Here we go. Time. Time is the other thing that we want to look at. How flexible, changeable is the schedule? Who decides that? And who controls the students' time? Think about these questions, things that are kind of obvious, maybe, that things are the way they are. But here are the things we want to consider. Do students have any input as to the way they manage their time? Do lessons have to be 45 minutes? At least in Israel, lesson is 45 minutes. And do all students need to be in all lessons? Who decides? Okay, I'll let you think about this for a second, and I'll share with you again. In the COVID, it was obviously because again something major happened that moves us to the online lesson. I saw a lot of schools that just typically just basically took the schedule and just tried to move it to just to do online, and they saw that it didn't work. When we ask about who controls the students' time, I'm asking 45 minutes of class time. Who tells the students what to do with their time?
We do.
The teachers, right? Most of the time, the teachers tells them what to do, or what they're expected to do, at least every minute of the time. Here in Israel, and you tell me if it's different with you, the schedule is usually 45 minutes. We move from math, English, Tanakh, okay, one section after the other, 45 minutes. This is just how it's done. And all students need to be all the time in all classes. So all these things we put question marks, or at least we want to look at it, okay? We can say, okay, it stayed the same, but these are the things we want to look at according to the model.
Can I add something?
Yes.
I I was an English teacher in a school in Bat Yam, and something that I found very interesting, which in the US is like, I think a very big no-no, is that you would never pull out a student from one class if they need help in another class. But I found that like in the school in Bat Yam, teachers were more flexible with working with one another and were more understanding if a student genuinely needed some extra help during like a teacher's free time, even though a student might be in a class, to just pull them out for even like 15-20 minutes, to just give them that extra help, versus like in the US, like that would never happen.
And it does happen in our school, actually, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's just, Jewish school, but in all the school that I worked, a lot of the students that don't, are not able to do Hebrew, and they need extra help in math or any kind. And we have literally tutors who come from outside, and they teach, literally they go over with them one by one, they look at the computer, what they have, and they literally are working, and we are very flexible. I have students who are not coming to my Hebrew every single day, and there's a totally different, setting
I'm
for
gonna
them.
just stop you for a second because I see Jessica wanted to say one more thing, and then we'll move on. Yeah, thank you. Yes, go ahead, Jessica.
Yes, I wanted to say that, well, in Buenos Aires or in my school, the classes are 80 minutes. So we don't have 45, we have 80 minutes of class all together. So we try to like do games or something like that because students can't focus for that long time. But in COVID, we did it for 40 minutes. We tried to reduce the amount of time because we couldn't do it that long.
So you're echoing the dynamic that the time is a crucial element in our pedagogical decisions, right?
Yeah.
We need to look at it. Good. Okay, let's just say a few. Romina, go ahead, and then Anat.
No, because Jessica mentioned Buenos Aires, classes in Buenos Aires, and I think, Jessica, you refer to high school, because in elementary school, periods take 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay, so look how it's interesting. Like in Buenos Aires and in Israel, this 45 minutes is like it's like such a basic thing, right? It's amazing that all around the world this is like the unit. It's interesting. Anat, what did you want to say?
So I just wanted to say one thing that drew a lot of families to our school was what happened at COVID. We managed to do a plan that went from 8 till 3 every day, and the kids had a schedule and all the classes were in it. And a lot of people moved from other schools to our school because they weren't getting that. They were just getting 1 period or 2 periods a day. And with us, we kept the kids busy for the day. They even had PE, like they had everything with them. So when you talk about innovation, I think it's also to adapt whatever's thrown your way. You have to like embrace it and figure out a plan on how to make the best out of it. So
I want to tell you another example that it's actually from these days in my son's school here in Jerusalem. After they came back, after schools restart here, a month after the war, maybe, we had a lot of people from the south resides in Jerusalem, right? That they're leaving their homes, and there was a situation where there are kids with no school. So there are a lot of different solutions and accommodations for these students. But my son's high school, they took in 80 students from a kibbutz in the south. Okay, now think about it. It's a good chunk of there's a lot of students, and obviously they're coming with a particular emotional situation, and they need to adapt to this school. But what I want to mention in this context is that my son's school started every day before the war at 7:50. Okay, 10 minutes before 8. For high school. Admit that it's early for teenagers, okay? 7:50, they're already in class studying. Now that they adopted, they took in these new students, They had to change the schedule and they started at 8:30 every morning. You ask why? Just logistics, because these kids came from hotels, the breakfast in the hotels in a certain hour, they had to go on buses because they're not independent like our kids, it's not their school, completely logistical issues, okay? But of course they did it, every class started, the day started at 8:30, and every class was 5 minutes shorter, because we still need to end at the same time, right? So this is what they did. They did not shorten the recess. They shortened the classes, which was a nice thought. And guess what happened? They changed after this school.
They're gonna keep it that way.
The principal
They're gonna
said
keep it
to
that
keep
way.
it this way. And you know why? You know what?
Because
he
they're not
found the
missing
biggest-
those
the
5
biggest
minutes.
advantage of it? The biggest advantage from his perspective was about the teachers. The teachers' day still had to start at 8 o'clock, right? Because this is his contract. It's not like, so all of a sudden the teacher starts the day with half an hour time for himself, for going over the day, for talking with a colleague, for just sitting and drinking coffee. And you need to remember that, you know, we are all here in a very emotional situation. So even more so at this time, it was very, very important. And he said he saw so many benefits for this thing that the teacher starts his day with kind of a breath and not like catching his breath. And that made a huge difference for this school. So here is something about the time that usually it's the need, it's the burning need that make us change something. But we can think about what do we need to wait for crisis in order to think differently about things. So this is another example of the time. Any thoughts so far about the model we went through? We went over two things about the model, and I wanna stop here to see if the framework overall is clear what we're trying to do. Okay, we're basically trying to put on glasses and to see, okay, when we look at school, because first we're gonna look at examples, we're gonna look at cases that claim to do something new. We say, okay, what do we look at? So these are the things we're going to look at, okay? And okay, good. So I'm looking at the time, and it's important to me to what we're gonna do next time. We're gonna go over the other things, the other elements of the model, which we have the teacher roles and the students' role, because these are the curriculum, of course, it's very, very important. And of course, also the role of technology. What I would like you to do, oh, I don't think I shared the, right? I look it here by myself, but now I realize, did I share it? Yes, I am sharing.
We see it, but we see it small. But
Yeah,
we
yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
that's why. Here we go. Okay. So, so what I would like you to do for next class is read this article that I put in the Moodle, okay? And this is the article that describes the model that we just introduced. Okay, it's an important reading. If you're not interested in all the research part of it, what they did, the method, okay, just read through it. But you wanna emphasize in your reading, you wanna understand the model, okay? Because we're gonna work with the model. And now I would like to spend a few minutes to just explain you how overall we are working. So those of you who want to start, especially with the independent study part, can go ahead and start. Okay, so this is our plan. Here's we are here today with our introduction to innovative pedagogy, and we have next meeting is in the same time frame, 4:45 until 6:15, And we are already going to talk about project-based learning as an example, as a case study that we're going to look at through these glasses that we're putting. And then we have 2 more classes that we're going to talk about, 2 more models. One is the flipped classroom and one is interdisciplinary learning. And you see, I want you to see that these will be longer classes. This is actually a double class. And in the second part of the class, don't worry, I'm not going to talk for 3 hours straight. The second part of the class will be kind of a work that I'm going to mentor about your project planning, which is your final project. Okay, so let's not, I'm going to explain everything that you need to know, just so you won't miss that these 2 days are longer classes. So you know that we have these classes with, we had 4 face-to-face classes and 2 more independent study. And the independent study, what you're going to do is basically what we're doing here together. You're going to analyze a pedagogy through the model that we're introducing. And I want to go over it because I know some of you would like to already start. I'm going to put this, everything is also in the Moodle, but if you want to see that, this is how the grade is divided. And the forum discussion, obviously, and I saw that you already know in this program how to use the forum. Please contribute to the discussion question that I post every week. And try to put your responses by Wednesday because of the second part that throughout the course, I would like you to post at least 2 responses to other classmates. Okay, so if we do it by Wednesday, people have time to read and respond and do it in 2 different weeks. So you can get in the discussion in 2 different weeks. Okay, so I think the forum is pretty clear. The class model, you should know that is structured by units. And each week, the reading and the forum question prepare you for the coming lesson. And I know that this might be a little different than other classes. So I know that in other classes, sometimes you get a question about the previous lesson. Here, I constructed a little differently. You want to answer forum 2 before lesson 2, and you want to answer forum 3 before lesson 3, okay? Because this way, when you read the basic material and think about it, we can start our discussion 1 level up, and we don't need to go over the model or the idea the way we do here now. Okay, is this part clear? I'll take it as a yes. And okay, so this is what I really wanted that we make sure that we cover. You have 2 parts of independent study. It's all in the Moodle. And what you're going to do in this assignment, it's basically 1 assignment divided to 2 parts, study 1 and study 2. You will investigate trends and future-oriented pedagogies and their application in the field. So I put in the Moodle the document that this assignment is based on. It's called Future-Oriented Pedagogies, Principal Implications, Applications, written by the Ministry of Education in Israel. And this document describes 6 principles of action. That's how they call it, 6 principles of actions of future-oriented pedagogies. And you can see them here: personalization, collaboration, informalization, localization, a lot of zation, adaptivity, and self-integration. Okay, these are the 6 pedagogies that they talk about. I want you, for the first part, to choose one of them and investigate it in depth. What you're going to do is you find 1 more article about this topic and then follow these instructions, which is basically to analyze this according to the model that we're introducing here. I'll let you look at it one more one more minute and let me know if you have questions. Any questions about this part? Pretty clear, right? Yes. Oh,
but,
go ahead.
the model that like we're implementing in class, also we could use the reading as well that discusses it.
No, the model is a model, okay? The
Okay.
model you're gonna use to analyze it, to analyze the pedagogy. But what you wanna look for is if you, for example, you have 6 pedagogies, you need to choose one, only one. So let's say you choose personalization. I want you to look for one more resource that teaches you about personalization. Okay, so the document that you're gonna read about the future-oriented pedagogies, you're going to read kind of an overview about this this topic, and you're going to look for one more article or resource to deepen your understanding about it. Okay?
Can
Good.
I ask about, again, if it's possible, if you have time, to go back to the times that we have with you? Like the classes?
Oh, yes, yes. Let me go through everything we need to. Just one more slide, and also if you go into the Moodle, it's right there. I put this chart, this table right there, so we won't get confused. Okay, but I will do it. So let's go back to the just to make sure, because I want you to look at the date. The due date is the February 20th. So just so you know. I think everything is written. If you have questions, just ask me. And then the second part, and in the document itself, it has all the supporting questions as well. But just so you know, if in the first part we are investigating the principle, the future-oriented pedagogy, here in the second part, we want to see in the field how this pedagogy looks like, if at all. Okay, so what I would ask you in the second part is to look around you. It can be your school, it can be your kids' school, it could be school in the neighborhood, it could be any school in your community. Okay, and let us just write about what you see, how this principle is being applied in this community. Is the second part clear? Okay, and again, after that, I couldn't post it all here because it would be really small. I broke it down, okay, to the supporting questions, what you need to describe and what you need to analyze. So I think it's pretty clear. Okay, and the last thing, and I won't put I won't share the screen, just let you know, the last thing, the final project is something that we're gonna work on mainly here during our double class, and it's after we saw cases and we learned a model and we analyze it and we see what's going on and we see difficulties and challenges and benefits, all the things we will discuss here. We're gonna invite you to, when we say we, I say I, but remember we share the stage, right? But I am going to invite you to think about your own school or your own community, or if you're not at school, your own context. And I'm gonna teach you another model that help us look at issues, needs, gaps in our own context and take it one step further. Are we going to solve all words problems by the end of the class? Probably not. Are we going to be able to think about them a little differently? I hope so. So this is our plan. Questions, remarks, wonders?
I just would like, to understand the schedule basically, because you put that it's February 18th, February 25th. These are the actually 2 long lessons.
Oh, you mean the schedule for our
classes?
Yes, this is it.
Yeah. So next week we have like a regular class like now,
Right.
but
right.
then the 18th, which is really good because here in the state we have, you know, a weekend off, so it's
Mhm.
helpful because I
Resume.
teach on Sundays. So for me, I literally from here go, you know, to teach, and so the 25th. So that means it's until 10:30 our time. Basically, it's like a longer one. So that's what you mean? Like it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And as I said, you know, we're gonna start by I mean, I would like you to plan on it. It could be that most of it will be independent work, and okay, but just plan on it, and we'll see as it goes. Just okay, and I want to say that I'm here. I'm here always a few minutes before class, after class, by appointment. If you need to talk about something, this is my mail. Obviously, you can look at it through the Moodle also, and just to make sure what we need to do for next week. This is probably the only week that we're going to need to cover 2 articles, just because of unit. It's important that you cover the model that we introduced now and prepare yourself for next week, okay? But so I would like you to read the article in Unit 1 and the article in Unit 2 and answer the question in Form 2. Because remember, we read to prepare ourselves for next class.
Vered, if I may, we do have, some of us are doing innovation in Jewish education, and it starts at like 45 minutes from now. And I believe it's gonna clash on the 18th and the 25th. Do you know what should we do?
It don't start at the hour that you have. I have it starts 9 o'clock is Israel time.
9 o'clock Israel time, so it doesn't clash.
No, it doesn't clash.
It doesn't?
No.
It doesn't? Okay, because that's what we thought, but maybe I
Because
was.
it says like 9 a.m. my time, like in 45 minutes, the next one. This is the Zoom
It says
invitation.
9 a.m. Israel time. 9
No,
p.m.
9 p.m. Israel
Sorry,
time.
Israel
9
time.
p.m. All right.
Okay, if there is a problem, Shani or anybody else, can you write me an email just so I'll see it and I'll check it, and of course we'll work around it. Okay, but when we planned it, this is what I thought is possible. But let me know otherwise. Okay. How are you doing? Was it too much for one class? No, we're doing okay? Good, good. Next time you're gonna talk more, I talk less, but okay, wonderful. So I'm here if anybody needs me. Otherwise, have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question about
Yes,
the
Nicole,
first
go ahead.
assignment?
Yes.
So if I choose, for instance, personalization, as you mentioned, the last question would be that I have to analyze it with the model. It says space, time, teacher, all that with that principle. How would I implement it? Would be that like something like that?
Are you talking about the first study or the second study?
The first.
The first study. So the first study, you're just going to analyze it. Okay, you're going to read about it, and then you know what you read about it. They didn't write it, or they're not going to write it according to our model, right? But you're going to put on critical glasses and you say, hold on. I want to know what personalization changes about time, space, teachers' roles okay? And actually, I should have said that, but most of you are here, so I said it. Next time, and during all our next classes, we're going to do it together with project-based learning. So you're going to see how we discuss it, and that's exactly what you are expected to do. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was great meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.